It started with a text message. No warning, no argument, no build-up. Just one cold sentence lighting up my phone screen. Don't call or come over, we're done. At first, I thought it had to be a mistake. I read it again. And again. Same words, same tone, no explanation. My chest tightened as confusion slowly turned into panic. I called her immediately. No answer. I tried again. Still nothing. Then I texted back, "What's going on?" The reply came almost instantly. You knew exactly what you did. But I didn't. That was the worst part. I replayed every recent conversation in my head, every word, every moment, trying to figure out what could have triggered this. Nothing made sense. The night before had been completely normal. We had dinner together, talked about small things, even laughed a little. There were no signs that anything was wrong. So why this? The next morning, I couldn't sit still anymore. I drove straight to the house. The same house I had grown up in, the same front door I had walked through thousands of times. But that day, it felt different. Like I didn't belong there anymore. I knocked once. No answer. I knocked again, louder this time. A few seconds passed before I heard footsteps approaching from inside. The door opened slightly, just enough for me to see her face. My mother. Her expression was cold, distant, like I was a stranger standing at her door. "Didn't you read my message?" she said. "I did," I replied quickly. "That's why I'm here. What's going on?" She shook her head. "I told you not to come." "Why?" I asked, my voice tightening. "At least tell me what I did." For a brief moment, she hesitated. Then she said something that didn't just hurt, it confused me even more. "You embarrassed this family." I frowned. How? But instead of answering, she reached behind the door and grabbed something. An envelope. She pushed it into my hands without meeting my eyes. "What's this?" I asked. "Your share," she said flatly. "Take it and go." My stomach dropped. Share of what? She finally looked at me. The will. The word hit me like a shock. "Grandpa's will?" I asked, my voice barely above a whisper. She didn't confirm it. She didn't deny it either. Instead, she started closing the door. "Wait," I said quickly. "This doesn't make sense." But before I could finish, the door shut. Just like that. I stood there, frozen, the envelope in my hand and 100 questions in my head. Something was wrong. Deeply wrong. And I had a feeling that whatever was inside that envelope was only the beginning. I didn't open the envelope right away. Instead, I sat in my car across the street, staring at it like it might explain everything on its own. Your share. Those two words didn't sit right with me. If this was about my grandfather's will, why handle it like this? Why the cold text? Why push me away without any explanation? None of it made sense. Finally, I tore the envelope open. Inside was a check and a folded document. The check caught my attention first. The amount was small, way smaller than it should have been. My chest tightened. That couldn't be right. My grandfather had always been clear with me. He believed in fairness. He had told me more than once that everything would be divided equally. So why did this feel like a payout to make me disappear? I unfolded the document slowly, my hands starting to shake. At the top, it clearly stated it was the final version of his will. I scanned down the page until I found my name. And that's when everything stopped. My name had been crossed out. Not removed properly. Not rewritten. Just crossed out. And next to it, a new note had been added, stating that my share was reassigned due to family concerns. Family concerns? What did that even mean? I read the line again, trying to make sense of it. Then I noticed something else. The signature. At first glance, it looked like my grandfather's. But the longer I stared at it, the more something felt wrong. It was too clean. Too perfect. Almost like someone had tried too hard to copy it. A strange feeling settled in my chest. I reached for my phone and started scrolling through my gallery until I found an old picture, a birthday card my grandfather had signed for me months before he passed. I zoomed in on the signature. Then I looked back at the document. My heart started racing. They didn't match. Not even close. The real signature had natural curves, small imperfections. The one on the document looked stiff, forced. Like it had been copied. That's when it hit me. This wasn't just unfair. It was fake. Someone had forged the will. Suddenly, everything made sense. The cold message. The way my mother avoided answering questions. The rushed envelope. They weren't pushing me away because I did something wrong. They were pushing me away so I wouldn't look too closely. Because if I did, I would see exactly what I was seeing now. The truth. I leaned back in my seat, gripping the document tightly. For a moment, anger burned inside me. But then something changed. I forced myself to calm down. Because reacting emotionally was exactly what they expected. Instead, I picked up my phone and typed a message. 4 simple words. Got your last wish. I hit send. Then I blocked her number. No more calls. No more explanations. If they wanted me out of their lives, I would give them exactly that. But not before I made sure the truth came out. And when it did, they wouldn't be ready for it. 3 months passed in complete silence. No calls. No messages. No attempts to reach me. Exactly what they wanted. But behind that silence, I was working. The first thing I did was take the document to a lawyer. I handed him everything, the will, the check, and the photo of my grandfather's real signature. He studied it for less than a minute. Then he looked up and said, "This is forged." That was all I needed to hear. From that moment, things moved quickly. Legal notices were sent, records were requested, and suddenly, my family had no choice but to respond. 2 weeks later, my phone rang from an unknown number. I answered. Hello? A pause. Then my mother's voice, shaky and nervous. Why are lawyers contacting us? I stayed calm. Don't call or come over, I replied. We're done. Silence filled the line. You're taking this too far, she said. No, I answered quietly. You already did. Her tone changed instantly. We can fix this, she said quickly. Just stop all this. But it was too late. Because the truth was already coming out. And the moment the forged will was exposed in court, everything they tried to hide collapsed. In the end, I didn't just get what was mine. I got something better. The truth. And this time, it was their turn to face the consequences.